என்ன தோடுடைய செவியனா? தூவெண் மதிசூடி அப்படி என்றால் சிவபெருமான் அல்லவா? அவர் உன் உள்ளம் கவர்ந்தாரா? சம்பந்தா, நீ அவரை பார்த்தாயா? எங்கு பார்த்தாய்? அவர் எப்படி இருந்தாரப்பா?
தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறியோர் தூவெண் மதிசூடி காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசிய உள்ளம் கவர்கள்வன். தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேறியோர் தூவெண் மதிசூடி காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசிய உள்ளம்
Thirugnanasambandar Nayanar Puranam. In response to the penance of Sivapada Hirdayar of Sirkali, Sambandar was born as a divine child. Unlike Thirunavukarasar, who was born to set right the sins of his previous birth, and Sundarar to cleanse himself for having cast his eyes on Kamalini and Anindidayam, Sambandar was born with a mission to redeem the ancient glory of Saivism from the grips of alien religions, to put Tamil in its preeminent position, to bring the supreme truth into all music and songs, and to eradicate the misery of mankind. The first 3 chronicles of the 12 sacred chronicles Panniru Tirumuraigal were sung by Sambandar. Sambandar's role in the redemption of Saivism and Tamil was so great, even within his short span of 16 years of life, that his hagiology fills almost one half of Periya Puranam. The crying child of Sivapada Hirdayar became Thirugnanasambandar after his being fed at the instance of Shiva by Mother Parvati herself with the milk drawn from her own divine breast and mixed with the gnosis of Siva. Tirumulai Pon Vallattu கரந்தருளி எண்ணறிய சிவஞானத்து இன்னமுதும் குழைத்தருளி அங்கணனார் அருள் புரிந்தார். That was the moment that gave him திருப்பெருகு சிவஞானம், supreme knowledge of Shiva, உவமையிலா கலைஞானம், matchless wisdom of art and philosophy, and உணர்வறிய மெய்ஞானம், difficult to comprehend truth absolute. Thirugnanasambandar, thus enlightened, went on 6 pilgrimages, visiting several hundreds of Shiva temples and singing the glory of the presiding deity at every place. While the young Sambandar was quite closely associated with the aged Thirunavukarasar, or Appar as he is better known, he had also interacted with quite a few out of the 63 Nayanmar. To name a few, Mangayarkarasiyar, Nindrasir Nadumaran, Kulachirayar, Kunguliya Kalayanar, Muruganar, and Tirunila Nakkar. Yes, there too was Tirunilagandai Alpanar, who hailed from the lower caste but readily accepted by Sambandar to accompany him with his yal, a stringed musical instrument, in all his pilgrimages. Out of the 4 paths to Shiva, Sambandar's was the path of a son, Mahanmai Vali or Satbudra Markam. And now a few out of the 15 miracles that happened when Sambandar sang his decades Padigangal. Madayil Valai Padigam. Unable to bear the sight of the tender palms of child Sambandar clapping to keep the beat of his songs, Shiva gave him a pair of golden cymbals, Putralam, at Thirukolakka. Sadayan Yenumal Padigam. At the request of a weeping young girl, getting rid of the poison and giving life back to the young merchant at Thirumargal, Punguvidam Thirndu Ezhundu Nindran. Vasidhirave Padigam. Getting blemishless gold coin daily to feed the famine-struck poor at Thiruvili Midalai. வாட்டம் நீக்குதற்கு நித்தம் ஓர் காசு நீடும் இலகுமணி பீடத்து குணக்கும் மேற்கும் யாம் அளித்தோம். மட்டிட்ட புன்னை பதிகம். Bringing Poombavai back to life with flesh and body out of the bones and ashes preserved in a pot and accepting her not as a bride but as a daughter. செங்கை தோற்றிட குடமுடைந்து எழுவாள் போன்று தாமரை போதவிழ்ந்து எழுந்தனள். சதுரம் மறைதான் பதிகம். Along with upper, getting the great gates of the temple at Tirumaraikadu to open and close. Mandiramavathu Neeru Padigam. At the instance of the Queen of Pandya Kingdom, Mangayarkarasiyar, and Minister Kulachirayar, curing the King Pandyan of the burning sensation all over his body with the sacred ash, winning over the Jain saints in the two tests of fire and water, Analvadam, Punalvadam, and above all, redeeming the king back to Saivism to the delight of the Queen Mangayarkarasiyar and of the people of Madurai. After completing his pilgrimage, Sambandar returned to Sirgali. His father suggested that he should get married as he had attained the prescribed age of 16. Although a little hesitant, for he knew he was not born to enjoy the married life, Sambandar agreed only to show to the world that married life is not a deterrent to reach the lotus feet of Lord Shiva. Sekular then goes on to give a picturesque description of this wedding of Sambandar with the pretty daughter of Nambandar Nambi, conducted with all the rituals and ceremonies by Thiruneelanakka Nayanar at Tirunallur Perumanam or Achalpuram. Sambandar took the tender hands of the bride and went around the ceremonial holy fire. The thought that was uppermost in his mind then was, "Please do let me reach your lotus feet along with my wife. Ival thannodum andamil sivanthal serven." The Lord gladly gave his consent, and the fire quickly grew into an effulgence. The newlyweds, their parents, and other servitors of Shiva, and all those who were there at the wedding, walked into the effulgence and reached the lotus feet of the Lord. This, in brief, is the story of the child prodigy Thirugnanasambandar Nayanar, whose short life of 16 years was one of spotless purity, sublime wisdom, and infinite grace.
தோடுடைய செவியன்
என்ன தோடுடைய செவியனா?
விடையேறியோர் தூவெண் மதிசூடி.
தூவெண் மதிசூடி அப்படி என்றால் சிவபெருமான் அல்லவா?